I'm here to assure you that your business is growing. I think a lot of you have heard of the Chinese bamboo tree. What is a Chinese bamboo tree? It's a type of bamboo that the first 4 years after it is planted, you water it, you weed it, you give it fertilizer, it doesn't grow at all. The 5th year, it grows 90 feet. I want you to think your business like the Chinese bamboo tree. As long as you're talking to people, your business will grow. Do not think that the business is not growing. In fact, I was listening to somebody, he says that the first 7 years, the maximum he earned is $500 in those 7 years. Nothing seems to be happening. But when it was the right time, his income grew to well over $100,000 a month. What we don't realize is that we earn the money during those lean periods, but we are only collecting the money at the end. That's what really is happening. When you're talking to different people, when you're talking to prospects, when you're talking to customers, trust me, your business is growing. It's just a matter of time before you start collecting the money that you've been investing in the business. The last 2 weeks, I've been talking. In fact, I think I repeated the sponsoring process on 2 training occasions. Sponsoring process is very important because our business depends on new people. But I want to go one step further to see how the sponsoring process is tracked. How do you keep track of what you are actually doing? I see somebody is complaining the sound. Those who are not lifting up their hands, tell me if the sound is okay, because some people are saying the audio session is not very clear. Yeah, I think the sound is clear. If you're not hearing very clearly from the sound, go to your audio. I don't know which part of the audio. On my screen is the bottom left. Click it and check audio, then adjust your audio accordingly. So I see a lot of people are saying the sound is great. Thank you very much, all of you. I really appreciate it. So what I want to do today is take you through what is called the daily method of operation. A daily method of operation is how you keep track of your activities. And it's very important to keep track of it because it will give you a very clear idea that you're actually doing the business. When your sheet is filled up with activities of the things you want to do to grow your business. So if you give me a moment, I want to share the screen with you. This simple sheet, I got this from one of the New Alive websites in the US. I'm not sure whether it's been uploaded to our back office, but I will check. If I don't have, I'll send this to Alan so that he can distribute to everybody. It's a very simple way to keep track of your activities. Each sheet covers 1 week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. So week 1 or week 2 of the month. And it covers 1, engaging a prospect. Number 2, following up with a prospect that you've spoken to. Number 3, training, that is engaging someone in the success system activities. That means you're teaching them how to build their business. 4, to check if your customer or a promoter today, that is either your customer whom you're already servicing or a promoter whom you're guiding to become successful. And then starting a new customer or a new promoter or distributor in the business. So this tracker helps you to keep your business going in the 1, sponsoring process. Number 2, follow-up. Number 3, dealing with customers. Number 4, training your team members. Number 5, getting new people started. This daily method of operation is actually the key to give you an indication of how your business is growing. It's a very simple sheet, and the reason why it is simple as this is because one of the things that really wastes our time is making our business complicated. Our business is very simple. We talk to people, we show them the business, we invite them, show them the business, doing a follow-up, get them started, show them the path to follow so that they become very successful. That is what we do in the business on a constant basis. So this daily method of operation, and the reason why I like this is because it's got a New Life logo. So any distributor from any market can use this daily method of operation, daily business activity tracker. It helps you to see what you're actually doing on a daily basis. Rather, it helps you see what you're doing for the week. If you look at a sheet for the week and there is nothing from Monday to Saturday, you haven't engaged any prospect in a conversation, there's no follow-up you're making, you haven't engaged somebody in training or teaching them the success system, you have not followed up with a promoter or a customer, and there's nobody knew you're starting, your business isn't growing. Okay? But as long as you get engaged in these activities, your business is growing. Remember, our goal, in fact, our goal is very simple. Our goal, number one, is to educate our prospects and customers. Number two is to offer them solutions for the problems they have in their lives. And to be able to really help people in our group so that people buy into you, there are a few things that are very important for success to happen. Number one, you need to know the people you are speaking to. Okay? Empathy. You need to be able to. In fact, I was reading today about a lady who was going to buy a car. Her and her husband wanted to go and look at cars. And when they were in their old car, they were going to the dealership. The gentleman told his wife, "Look, we are going to the dealership. We are not buying any car today. I don't want you to hear the saying that you're buying any car today." So they got to the dealership, and a gentleman came out and asked the gentleman, "Oh, you're John?" I said, "Yes. I read your LinkedIn profile, and I saw that you have a child who has got autism. And I was very, very glad because you're the president of the Autism Association." This salesperson spoke for half an hour about this man's activities, the work he's doing for the autism organization, how much he appreciated him. He asked him what kind of work he did. After 30 minutes, the man turned to his wife and said, "Honey, I think we've got the right car for us to buy. Shall we write in a deposit?" The first step of becoming effective in getting people in the business is empathy. That means you actually take time to know the person you're speaking with. The next thing is integrity. The next thing is consistency. The next thing is vulnerability. That means the person you're speaking to needs to know that you are also human, that you actually open up yourself to be seen as you are. Okay, so those few things are very, very important when you're speaking to your prospects. Keep yourself up. Three things must happen for a prospect to join your business. They must know you, they must like you, and they trust you. If those things are there, you're likely to sponsor them in the business. So this daily method of operation tracker helps you to keep track of your activities during the week. And after a whole month, you will have 4 sheets like this. Just go through it and check how you have been effective for the month that you are actually tracking your activities. Okay, so this is the daily method of operation that I would encourage all of you to get hold of, print, get a small book. I would recommend make a small booklet of 12 pages. Those 12 pages will cover 3 months. I think 3 months is a very good time frame to give you a very clear idea of how you can build momentum into your business. 90 days is a good time frame to monitor your activity, so that, in fact, psychologists say it takes between 66 and 253 days for a new habit to form. So if you have 12 sheets covering 3 months, if you do it consistently, it will become a habit, and that's how you become successful. The next thing I wanted to discuss with you is the power of your story. Do not underestimate the power of your story. Why is that important? Because remember, facts tell, stories sell. A lot of people join the business not because they understood what the presenter was doing, but because they are captivated by the story of somebody who has been very successful in the business. On Monday, when you were having a presentation, and our leader from Uganda, Janet Bugembo, was giving her story, I saw how so many people were touched by that story, but she wasn't talking about she wasn't explaining how the business works, just sharing her story. So if you want to have a powerful story, it has to have 4 elements. Number one, how difficult your life was, either health-wise or monetary-wise or whatever it is. How your life was before you met Neolife. Number 2, how you came to join Neolife, either to use the products or to look at the business. Number 3, what benefit you have received, either products or income-wise from the business. And the last part is, how does the future look like? Those are the 4 ways you can craft your story. And trust me, you can say the same story over and over and over again. It is still going to capture somebody's mind and heart. Why? Because you're speaking from your heart. Remember, I think I mentioned some time ago, the day the business will move from your head to your heart, you're going to be successful. Why? Because people will learn to relate to the journey you've undertaken. All right? So learn to tell your story. But 3 other things I want to mention about being very effective in telling your story or being a speaker. 3 things. Let me use some Latin words: ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is the ethics of your life. You need to have moral integrity in whatever you do or say. That covers the ethos. Pathos means the ability to touch people's feelings when you tell your story. For example, if you're going through tremendous amount of challenges, people relate to it. People actually identify with the challenges that you're going through. Why? Because every single person of you has got a challenge of one form or another. There is nobody on this screen attending this presentation who doesn't have a problem, who doesn't have a challenge. So share the challenges that you go through to build a business. And the 3rd part is logos. Logos simply means you need to be able to advance a solid reason why you're doing the business, how the business makes sense. If you have these 3 things, elements in your story will be very, very, very powerful. All right? Let me give you an example of our story. When Betty and I came to South Africa in 1995, in fact, Betty and I arrived in South Africa with 4 wooden chairs, a small table, 2 suitcases, and 3 children. And our youngest at that time was 10 days old. That's how we came into this country. And we had dreams, we had visions. I mean, being an engineer, the only path I knew of how to become successful is going to school. So as soon as I got a job, I enrolled to do a postgraduate course in construction management. But after spending 2 years, an additional $4,000 to obtain a diploma in construction management, there was not a single increase in my salary, and that really frustrated me. I felt that I did not spend the money wisely in order to increase our income. And around that time, Betty also had been looking for a job because Betty is a trained science teacher in biology and chemistry. She couldn't get a job. At that time, most of the schools that she applied, you needed to know 2 languages, English and Afrikaans. Of course, Betty did not know Afrikaans. And she looked for an employment in a school for a whole year until she made a statement that really changed everything. She said, I've looked for a job long enough. let the job come and find me at home. And 2 weeks after she made that statement, a friend of ours called Jen Kibera called Betty and said, Betty, I know you have a sick child whom you want to look for. I think I've got a business for you. She went for a presentation. She came back. I could see she was very excited. She didn't know the details of how the business actually works, but she says that the idea makes sense. Took us 2 days to decide. When they brought our kit, they brought us the product and they explained. They drew circles and they told us, this first circle is you and Betty. Then they drew 3 other circles and said, these other circles are your team members. And then they joined those circles with straight lines. This is called teamwork. If you get people to use the products and you introduce them to use and promote the product, you earn an income. I couldn't believe that such a business system existed. After they left, I took a pen and a paper and I worked out. I said, if Betty and I introduce, that was in March, if in March we introduce 3 people, at the end of the month it would be 4. If those 4 introduce 3 each, it would be 12 new people plus the other 4 would be 16. I made those calculations. After 1 year, that number was 16.7 million people. I did not need to be convinced anymore. Even if I said that, even if 0.1% of that figure is true, it is worth doing the business. I became so obsessed. I would wake up Betty at 3 o'clock telling her who have remembered that I want to introduce to the business. I got so consumed by the business. After 7 months, I equaled my salary. And when that happened, I knew my future was in Neolife. And we kept building the business. After 9 months, we were Sapphire directors. After 11 months, we have become 1 Ruby directors. After 14 months, we became 2 Ruby directors. Our business was growing so fast. After 3 years, what we were earning from the business was 3 times my salary. And on 27th September 1999, I fired my boss. I cannot begin to describe to you the joy of Betty and I going full-time in the business. One of the things that really sticks in my memory is the year 2000 when Neolife had the convention in the Sun City. Because Sun City is about 160 kilometers from Pretoria, we took all our children, we put them in the car, we drove to Sun City. When we got there, when we walked through the gate, they were stopped and they told us, sir, please just leave your car, we're going to park it for you. They went and parked our car, brought our luggage, we checked in, and they gave us some cards. They told us, this is your key to your room. We went to the room. If you slide the plastic across the key, a green button comes on and the office opens. The door opens. When it opened, one of our children, Felix, looked around. The TV came on and says, welcome the Oloo family. Felix turned around and says, Mommy, this is life. Those are moments you cannot buy with money. After a few years, we went back to Sun City just by ourselves as a family. We spent 3 glorious days in the Sun City. And this is what this business is about. This business gives you time to enjoy with your family, to have time freedom, to do the things you want to do because you've chosen to do them. Apart from the income, apart from meeting wonderful friends, I mean, we've met people from around the world, fantastic friends. We've got friends in Nairobi, in Dar es Salaam, in Uganda, in Nigeria, Southern Africa. This is what this business gives you. And I want to urge all of you, take time and ask yourself the question, if whatever you're doing now cannot give you the lifestyle you're looking for, think again. If what you're doing for the last I don't know how many years hasn't brought you closer to your dreams, take this business seriously. And before I end, I want to give you a worthy challenge to think about. The other day, I was checking some statistics in East Africa. Kenya has got 12.6 million households. Tanzania also has 12.6 million households. Uganda has 7.3 million households.